Hello, namaste, and welcome, yogis. Today I have a 10-minute neck and shoulder morning stretch for you. We won't need any props today, and this flow is for all levels. Most of this flow is going to be seated and then a little bit on our knees. So if you do have knee problems, then just completely skip those, but go ahead and join me when you're ready in a comfortable seated position. We're going to close the eyes just for a few seconds to start. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards your ears, and then exhale to roll them back around and down. Inhale up towards your ears. Exhale back around and down. Once more, squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears, and then roll them back around and down. Good. You can open your eyes whenever you're ready. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up overhead like you're holding a big beach ball. Fingertips reach up towards the sky. Root down, feel your sits bones connecting to the earth and to the ground. Exhale, bring your right arm beside your hip onto the ground. Bring the palm of your right hand onto the ground. And then bring your left fingertips to reach over to the right side of the room. You can move your right arm, your right hand away from you if you need to lean in a little more. You can bring it in closer to you if you need a little bit more support there as well. Just find whatever feels best for you right now. Finding maybe a great opening through the left side body here, through the left ribs, the left arms and left shoulder and the left back. Inhale, push back up and lift that arm back up towards the sky. And then exhale, bring your left hand to the ground as you bring your fingertips to reach over to the left side of the room. One side might feel tighter than the other. Feel free to just spend a little extra time on that side if you want to. Good, and then inhale, circle that arm back around and bring the fingertips onto the other side of the mat. So both of your fingertips are beside your hips now. You're going to bring your left ear to your left shoulder and then lift that left arm and bring it up and wrap it around your right ear, pulling that left ear towards your left shoulder a little more. Just a gentle tug, a gentle pull. And then start to lift your right hand up. Maybe just walk your fingertips towards on the mat towards the right side, finding a nice stretch maybe through that right side of the neck or through your right arm. Good, and then inhale, release your fingertips back onto the ground. Take your right ear to your right shoulder and then bring your right hand over to cup your left ear. Inhale. And then exhale to walk your left fingertips out a little bit or maybe to lift them up. Gentle tug, gentle pull on your left ear to bring that right ear closer to your right shoulder. And then inhale, release, bring that right fingertip back onto the ground as well. From here, you're going to rock forward onto your knees, coming into a tabletop position. So bring your hands directly underneath your shoulders or your knees directly underneath your hips. You can roll your mat up or you can bring a blanket underneath your knees if it's a little too rough on the ground for you to be standing on them. But moving into some cat-cows just to open up a little bit. So inhale, drop the chest, lift the tailbone up, pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, tuck your chin into your chest, round through the upper back. Push away from the mat and feel a stretch through the upper neck, upper back. Inhale, cow pose, lift the chin, send the chest forward, send the heart forward. Exhale, cat pose. Tuck the chin, round through the upper back, send the tailbone down. Returning to neutral position. From here, you can take your knees a little bit wider if you'd like, or you can keep them hip width apart. And once we get into this, you can play around with it a little bit too and see. But we're going to inhale, lift your right arm up to the sky, opening up to the right side of your room now. And then exhale to thread that right arm underneath and through the left, bringing your shoulder, your right ear, and your right shoulder onto the ground. You can keep your hand here. Option to walk it forward, or from here, option to walk it to the right side of the mat, the opposite right side of the mat if you're looking for a little more of a stretch. But otherwise, you can just remain here. This is plenty. Close the eyes and just find a moment to breathe here. Good. Bring your left hand back underneath your left shoulder. Push yourself up to be how you were, to tabletop position. And then bring your left hand up towards the sky, twisting up towards the left side of the room now. And then exhale to thread that left arm underneath or through the right. And then again from here, you can walk your right hand forward, just towards the front of the mat. Or you can walk it over to the left side of the mat too if you're looking for a little bit of an extra stretch. Keep your hips stacked and as parallel, as even as you can. Good, and then release. Bring that right hand back underneath your right shoulder. Place the left hand back underneath your left shoulder as well, returning to tabletop position. From here, you're going to drop your elbows where your hands were, and then walk your knees, back as far as you can until you can drop your forehead and your chest onto the ground. Maybe not your chest, but your forehead. And try to get your hips directly above your knees. You might not be able to get that immediately or even without a mirror, but just try as best as you can. Ground down through all 10 knuckles, and then try to bring your elbows in towards each other. Connecting to your breath and returning to your breath to help stabilize you during this challenging pose. Pull your knees and your elbows towards each other, towards the midline, so everything's hugging in. Good, and then release. Lift your head up off the ground, and then roll through, send your chest through your arms. So we're coming into the Sphinx pose from that puppy pose. So your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. Arms are reaching forward, fingertips spread wide. Press into your hips, press into your upper thighs and into the tops of your feet to help stabilize you here. As you push away from the mat with your elbows, squeeze your elbows towards one another to help stabilize, and pull your shoulders away from the ears to create length in your neck. Good. And then exhale to release. Send your hips back towards your heels, and then start to just return to tabletop position. And cross your ankles back behind you and send your hips back over your heels to return to a seated position. Spread your arms wide into a T. Give yourself a hug. Cross your left arm over your right arm and bring your elbows as close to each other as possible. From here, you're going to lift your arms so that the backs of your hands, the backs of your arms touch each other. Fingertips reach up towards the sky. From here, you have the option to wrap your arms around once more to bring the palms of your hands or your fingertips, the insides of your hands to touch. Your palms necessarily may not touch, but maybe your fingertips of your right hand touch the palm of your left hand here. Inhale to maybe lift the elbows just a little bit wherever you are. And then exhale to slowly unravel and come back the same way you came in, and then lower your arms. Give yourself a big hug again, and then release your arms into a T. Bring the arms down. Take one big breath in and out to reset. Bring the arms back up, and then this time cross your right arm over your left arm. Give yourself a big hug, reach towards your shoulder blades. Bring your elbows in towards one another in this hug. They don't have to be directly above one another yet, but maybe they're here. From here, keep your biceps and your upper arm where they are, but just flip your forearms so that your fingertips are reaching up towards the sky. So coming almost into this cross, your backs of your hands are touching here. From here, you have the option to wrap around once more. Full eagle pose arms. Inhale, lift the elbows wherever you are. And exhale to release, bring your elbows back down. Unravel, give yourself a big hug, and then bring it out into a T and bring the arms back down. Thank you so much for joining me today. Sending love and light from my heart to yours. I'll see you again tomorrow. Namaste.